computer?
Bad word.
Okay. It's all in the procedure. You got to do it in a certain thing. Procedure. Okay, but now I have to share it again.
Okay, I'll help you again. Let's do it. You go. We'll go to more. Where's your share on yours? There it is, right up here. Yours is on top.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Share.
And then we're gonna share this top, which is this.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I see it.
Did you turn your volume down, the microphone volume up?
I
Okay.
actually took my audio.
Still talking to us.
Back where I used to do it.
Lower your speakers.
So I'm gonna go back to lowering my speaker before everyone told me to change my settings. But I do this as a living, webinars and stuff, so I knew I need to do that. There you go.
Okay.
Because we're back to the way I had it originally.
All right, but now we have a problem. Now, the people who are on Zoom can't see the presentation.
Yes, they can, because
They
I
can?
see it.
No,
You see it?
It's right here.
Okay.
they're seeing the presenter view.
Right, you need to change it to slide over here.
Slide.
I do webinars all week, every day.
Slideshow up here?
Yep, right up there to slideshow, and then you're gonna start it.
Okay,
There
there
you
we go.
Thank you, guys.
Okay,
There you're set.
okay. Good evening again. We have a large agenda tonight. Can I borrow the agenda? And the first person on our agenda tonight is our community service unit representative.
I got to stand.
Officer Jackson. No, you stand over there now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to get my good angle because my side profile, I'm like, oh. You do this and put my tongue on my, make my chin out.
Unfortunately, we have to shoot from under, not over, so. Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, Harbordale. Don't mind the waddle. So I'm Officer Jax with the Community Support Unit. I'm gonna go over your stats real quick. I know you guys have a full agenda. So from your last meeting to today's date, you had 4 Part 1 crimes. You had a theft of boat parts at the 1700 block of Southeast 15th Street. There was a felony criminal mischief. I guess damage was done to the victim's boat slip. There was an auto theft in one of the parking complexes. I lied. There was a auto burglary in one of the apartment complexes, but the suspect vehicle, they know the suspect vehicle, so they'll build up like hopefully who did it from that. And then there was an auto theft. The vehicle was parked in the guest parking spot and locked, and then the vehicle was no longer there. And then the police saw the vehicle, the car took off, the chase was on, the car crashed. The male subjects bailed out and they got arrested. And like one was 14 years old, so they were 2 juveniles. Yeah. So yeah, so that's it. You had the 4 Part 1 crimes, and I don't recall any issues or concerns or questions from the last meeting. I do have one bit of news that I'm going to share. I know Officer Haggerty is going to send an email out to all the presidents of the associations, but you guys all know Officer Haggerty, right? My blonde sidekick. Well, she's the new PIO. So she's going to be leaving Community Support Unit effective December 7th. I'm very upset because I've been partners since 2018. But change is good. I'm very happy for her. So she will send an email out. I know she really enjoyed working with the community.
Yeah, we loved her.
Do stuff with SPIO, come to some of our events to highlight it.
What's a PIO?
The Public Information Officer. So whenever there's an incident on the news, you'd see her happy face.
That's Officer Garrity, right?
Haggerty, yeah.
Oh, Haggerty.
So,
Oh.
and it's gonna be just me by myself until they replace her next year. And then we have Nicole still, our
Nicole.
service aide, but we're gonna be losing her. I'm gonna be losing her in January. Like, it's just me. But yeah, but they'll replace her probably too. So anything is just me right now, Marilyn.
Good.
Do you guys have any issues or concerns?
What does the boat slip do?
I guess a boat damaged the boat slip. It was like a $4,000 damage. So it made it a felony because of the value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question. What's going on about enforcement with golf carts that are not licensed? They don't have license tags or whatever.
If they're gonna be on the road, I mean, they have to be registered. They have to, you have the same things as a vehicle would have. You know, so
But
if
what are you doing about the ones that aren't tagged? There's many of
if
them.
we see them, we should be stopping them and educating them at least, or writing a citation. I don't know what the officers are doing, but, I'll let, command know, but
Because I
I,
know in Rio Vista, there's a
Oh, I know
lot of
they
them,
are,
and they
yeah.
travel all around Cordova and
Mhm.
back, and
Oh,
they have no license
Yeah.
plates, some of them look totally underage. They have kids sitting there with no
and that's what's
seatbelt on
crazy too,
people's
yeah,
laps.
yeah.
And I don't think that there's enforcement, I think it's a real safety issue, not only for the people in the vehicle, but for other people.
Right,
And I don't see any enforcement
well,
going
the
on.
problem is
at
we have
all.
to see it to enforce it, right? So
But if
we
you
have-
just drove around.
I
you would see them
understand
all the
that,
time.
and I'll bring it to command, but the problem is, we might be going different calls. I mean, I might see a golf cart thing, but guess what? I'm going to an important call. That's gonna supersede a golf cart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree, maybe it needs to be maybe the new PIO has to put out something to educate the public, hey, but I agree with you, and I'll mention it to like my captain, and maybe they can, remind officers, maybe send out something to the public, because I've seen it. I'm going to a call. I'm like, I can't stop for this. I need to keep going to what I'm going to, since it's an in progress call, but I totally agree. And we should be stopping those vehicles and addressing it.
Mhm.
Just one other question, just hearing a lot of very loud, probably. They've been altered, the mufflers, and they're so loud coming over the bridge, and
Ah.
they're speeding. And what's going on with enforcement now that the new hotel's gonna be opening in the convention center?
We've gotten that complaint since I've been in the unit, the motorcycles and all that. We do what we can. I can send it to motors to enforce it. I can send it to the midnight officers, or this usually happens in the early
Night.
hours of the evening. But once again, we don't have the manpower to stand there and man the tunnel. We can't do it. And by the time you call us,
The bridge.
okay, 17th Street Bridge, anything, either 17th Street Bridge would be the tunnel, we don't have the manpower to sit there and listen for loud mufflers. If we hear it,
That's
we're supposed to stop the vehicle, because it is a violation for adjusting or alternating the muffler, but we just don't, like I said, we don't have the manpower, so we can enforce it if we see it. Now, I can't speak for other officers, we should be stopping those vehicles, and do officers do it? I don't know, probably not. But unfortunately, that's gonna be one of those things that if we hear it, we address it, and,
I'm more concerned about the golf carts.
no, I absolutely hear you. It's crazy. Like I watch them even with the license one, with the red, with the tag. I'm like, why? People can't drive down here to begin with. Why on earth would you drive with your child?
On
And,
your
and,
lap?
and there's no safety. It's like, all it takes is one little fender bender and poof, your kid's ejected into the roadway. I mean, it's bananas. Seeing that too, I agree. And those are the ones that are actually roadworthy. They got the license plate, they got it's just crazy.
Mhm. Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'll be right here if you guys have anything.
Thank you.
all right.
Yeah.
And so our guest tonight is Enrique Sanchez, who's the Deputy Director of the Department of Parks. Enrique's been with us for quite some time. We've been working on numerous projects, including our Harbordale Park,
Mhm.
our
Right.
park that we're very much in love with. And now the Harbordale Park and Playground fitness equipment is what he's going to present. And then we're going to talk about the joint use playground.
Yeah.
So Enrique, take it away.
Yeah, so, thank you, Marilyn. So and again, Enrique Sanchez. So what you have on the screen here is, so we're gonna talk about Harbordale Park first, and then we'll talk about Harbordale Elementary, after. So this is Harbordale Park. And as part of our Parks Bond, there are some improvements. There's $355,000 set aside for Harbordale. And for Harbordale Park. And that will for replacing the playground, replacing the fitness equipment, that's a bit aged, and the and then upgrading the lighting. So what you see here is some renderings of the playground. We've shared this with the community in the past, but just to give an update, the purchase order is in, that's being manufactured, and we expect installation early next year. So,
Shall I go to next?
but yeah.
Next.
January 7th.
Share your screen, Zoom can't see anything, but,
No, it says stop share.
What?
I am
I
sharing.
see it here. Sorry, I see it right here. I see everyone on Zoom.
see Marilyn's.
I see everyone on Zoom. I'm on Zoom. I see everybody else on
It's
Zoom.
right here, Scott. I see all the
Mhm.
people and I see him. I see
Okay.
that. I see-
Excuse me, can people?
At 9 PM.
Oh, at 9 PM.
Can the people on Zoom see the presentation and Enrique?
I see it.
Somebody?
Can't see both. You either see the screen or Enrique with a blurred screen. So.
Well, I'm really hoping that the people on Zoom can see it.
I'm on Zoom. I see you.
Okay,
Come see it. I see everybody right here. I see him.
Is
I
that
see the
fake
thing.
grass
It's right
in that
here.
park?
You see
No,
him?
no, okay, this
They're
is just
seeing what I see.
screen.
I'm on Zoom.
This right here.
They're seeing this and this if they have. a bigger
The
screen.
surfacing.
They have to open up the gallery to see it.
Will be that rubber.
So
Pamela,
But this is real grass, as it is now.
can I ask you, Pamela Miller or Fred Myers or David, could you please unmute yourself? Please, hi Pam?
Yes,
Yes.
What are you seeing on Zoom? Are you seeing the full presentation?
I see the presentation, the first slide, and then I see your face. Now I see Fred's face. I think it's popping. You probably see a black screen because I'm not showing my video.
Okay.
But I don't
Do you
I don't see the presenter.
You don't see the presenter?
See me now if I talk?
He's under the name of Diana Brazane.
Is it my, yeah. so I-
He's on Diana's screen.
You have to do a gallery view, everybody, to see everyone, if you want to see
Yeah.
the presenter. 'Cause
Otherwise, you
he's
don't see
on-
the person talking.
Right, it's gonna be on, you have to look at my, under Diana's Bazan. You have to click on that. Why don't we do speaker view? Marilyn, do speaker view
Okay,
on yours. And that way the speaker is,
how's that? That's good.
right,
Is the playground equipment and the other equipment pretty much standard throughout all the different parks in the city?
I mean, they're different manufacturers, but yeah, we try to keep them consistent with the type of park that it is. So
So how would it compare to what was just done in Hardy Park?
it won't be anywhere near what we was.
Hardy Park is supposed to.
Yeah, so Hardy Park is more of a larger community park. It's intended for, there, first of all, it's just outside downtown.
That's much
so
better, isn't
A
it?
lot of development there, a lot of people walking to there, a lot of, there's parking, so people can drive there. Where these are just mainly intended for people to walk to.
So it's
There are-
like the one in Rio Vista that's on
Yeah.
I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jimmy Young Park, yeah.
Okay, so do you want me to go to the next slide?
Next slide.
How do I get to the next slide? Just a second.
Did hit the down arrow?
There you go.
Oh, so this is some of the fitness equipment, some of it's covered here. But there's a little stationary bikes, sit-ups, and then there's some motion, some other motion and static fitness equipment that we're gonna have there.
Is it essentially the same equipment that we have now, or we have some modernized of the equipment we have now? Okay,
And then
Okay.
so now we're discussing, this is the elementary school. So to give a little background, as part of our parks, we were looking at opportunities to tap into some of the schools. They have land and they have needs for recreational amenities that may not make their budget. But, so we got a partnership to, perhaps the city makes the improvements and then they open that up to city residents after hours. So Maryland was key in including Harbordale in that. It wasn't originally
you and Al co-host.
listed in the bond, but Maryland, Commissioner, I know Diana was involved and a lot of others in the community were involved to get $275,000 for the elementary, so we could do something there. Then as we were going through the planning, we were looking for additional funds and we identified there was some money set aside for Welcome Park, which is that right off of State Road 84, east of 17th. There's that just kind of grass area. It was that the money would be better utilized here. So we went through the process, community meetings, public hearings, went to our Parks Advisory Board, and then that money was moved. So now this project has $458,000. Again, thanks to the advocacy of this community, Maryland.
Diana, everybody.
Yeah, everyone, the commissioner. So it's a really great thing. And again, the purpose is, let's do something for the school, but also when school is not in session, weekends, evenings, breaks, have it open for the community. So, we put in for, proposals from two three playground manufacturers. We've received two back. We'll go through those now. One of them went kind of all out and over budget. We're gonna need to trim it back. That's this one. But it's gonna be a much larger play piece. We think we can get something similar. It's just gonna be scaled back a little bit. Cause they not only wanted the playground space to have that poured in place surfacing, they wanted kind of all the area that's kind of sandy to have that surfacing, so the kids have a clean and dry place to play around.
That's the highest priority for the PTA.
Yeah, they want no sand.
No sand,
That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
because the kids drag the sand into their cars when they take them home.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, you want me to go to option 2 then?
sure.
Oh, this is just some, okay.
So this is a much smaller one. This one came in like way under budget. I think we can do more, although this one doesn't include. The other one had some integrated shade. This one doesn't have that, and then the poured in place surfacing on this is just limited to the playground. So we would have to do that separately through another contractor. So this is a much simpler design, but yeah, well below budget. So if we went with this, we'd look to beef it up to so it'd be apples to apples.
Well, what's the difference between the two, other than one's more elaborate? Is the equipment different? Is it
It's a different manufacturer.
just the
but
manufacturer?
It's a different, yeah, it's a different manufacturer. And then like if you compare the two, I mean, the other one has,
I go backwards. I
Yeah.
might go backwards.
so here we got 2 slides, a couple step things, a climbing feature.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to tell, this is great. We're making real good progress here, but we have to now go to the
Yeah.
parents and the school and,
So the next step is, of course, we want to present to you guys in the neighborhood, but we need to get buy-in from the principal, the parents of the students, and also the school board facility staff. They're very particular with what they allow on their playgrounds. We gave those standards to these vendors, so that should all be taken into account, but as they review, school board does its own permitting, that doesn't go through city permitting. The only thing outside they have to go through is like surface water management, and flooding and stuff, that goes through the county. But otherwise, school board does its own permitting, so they have their own permit department, that's,
it's, who knows when we'll get that permit?
yeah.
Well, we can't start until the sewer project is over anyway. The sewer project. So, the sewer project, they say December it'll be finished, but figure January, February.
Yeah, but one thing we have to talk about that Enrique said was that for the project to start in June, which is when the principal and the school wanted it to start and end in August, we have to get a meeting in by December.
Yeah,
Or
so
August.
we need to finalize design and
Yeah.
get that purchase order.
Right.
And get through our procurement and purchase order in
Mhm.
place by January if we wanna.
So you ready? If we can get everybody together in December, you ready?
Yeah, so we
All right.
just got this, we're still vetting the numbers and having feedback, but my next step was to reach out to the principal.
All right, it's hard now because it's December and everybody's having parties and such, and I don't even know if they're gonna meet in December.
But we can't, we can like contact her right away.
Right away.
And I can contact her if you'd like tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm right there.
Okay,
And then I'll let Marilyn know, who'll let you know. They'll give us the date if the PTSA or this, have to go to PTSA as well. So I know you want to meet with her first, right? So I'll let her know that, but she.
or at least share the information with her so that, so she's not seeing the first time, as.
When we sit down.
Right, but she's gonna give us the date, because there's specific dates of the month that they meet with it has to be school advisory and PTSA together. So
Okay.
that's why it's the SAC,
All right, but I'm sure she'd be satisfied if you just gave her the PowerPoint.
Sure.
She'll be familiar with it, and then we'll just, this one meeting in December. Yeah, anybody have any questions?
Say so?
No.
They're gonna use it.
Yeah.
Can they pick the colors?
Sometimes.
Be involved.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah,
They-
well,
I'm sure
once it's
that-
up, they'll get naming. We'll have a contest to name it or something like. I'm sure the school will think of some creative things for the kids to do.
And is there a, is it still going to have that padding that they want?
Yeah.
Is that in the budget? I didn't, wasn't sure.
It's in the budget, in the designs you saw, one of them kind of included it.
Right,
It's-
one looked like it was
And one of them
grass.
only included it under the playground.
Correct, I
But
saw.
not in the other open area.
Right, so
So we would have.
they
to go-
talked about that too.
We'd
Right.
have to go through another vendor to do the rest of the area.
Well,
But
is,
but it's well within budget.
Okay, good. That's
Okay.
That's good.
Good.
Definitely need to make sure you have shade.
oh, you gotta have the
Really
shade.
shade.
Those kids will never,
Yeah.
they'll boil under there.
Yeah.
So
And
it would seem to me that the one that's over budget, which has all the things we want, just tone them down a little bit, rather than go from the one that doesn't have what we want and tone them up.
Or add other vendors to complete the project.
Yeah, it's very complicated. Yeah, no.
Takes long.
So how long would it take to get them to give us a toned down version?
Not fair. If we give them some direction of what we like to see.
How about come in on budget? How about show us what you can do on budget? Because that, that's what we should be presenting to the school.
Sure.
Rather than, well, this is over budget. Okay, but then we gotta have another meeting for on budget,
Agreed.
right?
Well,
So,
so if everyone agrees with the overall concept and there's nothing there that's restricted,
mhm,
scaling back gets a little bit easier. And as opposed to going back to them 2 or 3 times
right.
and saying, oh, get it under budget. Now we go back with comments and now so it's also about managing
so-
the vendors.
So what do you suggest? How do you suggest we handle it?
I think we work parallel,
Okay,
inform the vendors to
chill.
to chill, to bring it up while we talk to the school, make sure if there's anything out of bounds. that
Okay,
we're-
parallel.
we-
We'll do parallel.
So that we're efficient with our time, because yes, the best time to do this for the school would be summer.
Yeah,
And
Okay.
when we present to the school, tell them in advance, you're gonna have to tell us what you
Yeah.
want and what you can live without.
Yeah.
And they can pick whatever it is that they're gonna pick.
okay, this is gonna be really great when we have it.
Yeah.
Because, our kids in the neighborhood who don't go to Harbordale will have the opportunity to use this. And guess who else gets the opportunity to use this?
Grown-ups.
Yes, the Harbordale Civic Association will be able to hold our bike giveaways there. We'll be able to use it for our tree giveaways. We might even have summer meetings and picnics and barbecues.
It'll also open up not only the playground, but there's a small basketball court there.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
it's the kind of whole recreational space that the school has on the east side
Yeah.
of the property.
Oh, and the plans also include the additional fencing needed to protect the school, because that was a big issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big issue. All right, moving along. These things take a lot of time, but they get done. Thank you. Well, he's not finished yet.
Yeah, and then so one other topic, so FPL is upgrading all the streetlights throughout the city. They're essentially manufacturers aren't making high pressure sodium bulbs anymore, so everything's moving to LED. So FPL is going through an improvement, but as they were talking to us about this, the neighborhood, Marilyn and Tony Morico.
Yeah, and Mark Roberts, yeah. They're all lighting guys.
Yeah, they were advocating for additional lighting, so we asked them for some feedback of what they would like to see. And I guess they wanted to start with just adding lights on poles that don't currently have lights, which is a small ask. There's about 10 provided. Of the 10.
Oh, wait a minute. Can you hold a second? Mark is coming in.
Sure.
Okay, as soon as Mark comes in, we can start again, because Mark and Tony they're very good about this. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see if we can find him. Here's Mark Roberts. Hello, Mark. Please unmute.
Hi,
Unmute.
Marilyn.
Hi, Mark. We're just starting on the FP&L LED conversion program, so your timing is perfect. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, bad voice.
That's okay. You just listen, take care of your voice. For Enrique's going to start now.
Yeah, so as I was saying, FPL is going through this program because they can't find the old light. So, but as part of this, we're getting the upgrade pretty much at no cost, and there might actually be some savings in the reduced energy that these new lights use. So with that, we wanted to take the opportunity, since there was a request for additional lights to, you know, see where the neighborhood wants that. Essentially, they're gonna replace light for light. So if they have a 70-watt bulb that puts out, I'm just gonna make it out 1,000 lumens, they're gonna replace it with I'm making up 12-watt bulb that puts out 1,000 lumens. You know, the light level, it's gonna put out the same. It's a more concentrated, directed towards the street. Light, the LEDs are, instead of just kind of a broad glow that the high pressure sodium. So the street should be brighter, everything else should be darker. But again, they're doing that at their cost. However, if we want to make changes afterwards, then we gotta pay for the fixture that they had to take down and the new fixture, and it becomes you know, doing more than 1 or 2 lights becomes really cost prohibitive for the city. So if you want to go to the next one.
Next slide.
So, like, as I mentioned, Tony and Mark, gave, 10 lights, 10 poles, for those in the room, this is 17th Street down here, and then, this is, Winn-Dixie, and, the PDQs, I think, this is the PDQ here. So you kind of get your bearings. I think this is the bank. Yeah, this is the bank, Bank of America.
Right.
So they gave us a list of 10 lights. They'd like to see it. We spoke with FPL. There's a handful that you cannot add lights on it. Some of them it's FPL, when they did the hardening, moved away from their poles. Those poles are just there holding the communication cables. Bell South, AT&T,
Mm-hmm.
and Comcast. Yeah, thank you. And when FPL did that, they actually cut out the top, so there's no place to put the poles. Those are marked with X's. But then there are, of the 10, there's about 6 locations that are suitable for to add a light on there.
Okay, well, I don't want to ask Mark to comment because he's got a sore throat, so I want him to spare his throat. So unless I say something really wrong, Mark, Tony and Mark have been working on lighting around Runaway Bay. They're from Runaway Bay. And they were the guys who got the school to keep the lights on after dark when the school was closing the lights off. And they worked with me to get ABC Liquors to keep the lights on because they were closing their lights after dark. And this is a very sensitive area back there. We had a lot of homeless people and trespassing, and light is the best deterrent for that kind of activity. So they've been really dedicated to doing this, and bravo to them. I had sent out an email or a constant contact, Harbordale News, to ask anybody else in the community who they might want to have additional lights in their section of the neighborhood. I never got anything back, and that's not unusual because you send something out, it's not, but here we are today, and I think we still have some time.
Yeah.
We still have some time. So if, for instance, over on South Miami Road, you know of areas there that, geez, there's a pole here and there's no light, okay? And the way you do this now is you just take a look around. And what you need to do is you need to look at the pole, and there's a number on the pole. This is how it's done. It's a vertical line of numbers. And all you have to take the numbers down, and we'll send them to Enrique, and he'll do exactly what he did here. He'll talk to FP&L and see if this is a candidate. And if it is, we end up with more lights. And all we have to do is look around and make that effort to find the numbers on the poles that, hey, if there was a light here, it would be a really good idea. It's very dark here. We need a look. Does it work in alleys as well, or only on the streets? Because we have a lot of alleys.
Where there's current FPL poles,
Yeah.
that's the simplest, yeah.
Okay.
So this here is the alley between PDQ and the Irish pub. And it kind of goes up, and so they did a hardening, so all these poles are canvas. They
There you
don't
go.
currently have lights. There's a couple that have some directional lights that kind of face the businesses. they must have gotten into agreements directly with FPL for those,
Uh-huh.
but this would put streetlights.
Okay,
right in
so-
The alley.
Look in the alleys. I'm sure we could use lights in the alleys. Okay.
The other opportunity, as I mentioned, they're gonna replace light for light. So if there's a street, and I would recommend doing this on the more commercial or industrial streets. Cause for everyone who wants more lights in the residential street, there's one person who doesn't, but there is the opportunity, so. And again, let's say a certain section of 16th Court that's more commercialized or 16th Street. If there's a section there that you're like, there's already lights there, but they're not bright enough. We could say, well, instead of doing the 1,000 lumen light, do the 1,200 or, so, and again, that additional incremental cost at this point is negligible.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an easy ask, but doing it afterwards becomes, so that's why we kind of want to get that feedback and see it.
I want to
What's the
comment.
timeline For transferring all these lines, changing them on.
It's kind of FPL's timeline, but,
Yeah, no, I know that.
it's,
They're doing the whole city,
they're
right?
doing the whole city. They're doing the whole city.
Well,
So-
a lot of it's done already.
Yeah,
They
so
started
some
a
areas.
year and a half,
Oh,
Yeah.
2 years ago.
And I wonder why they did it on your street. What was was
So-
you just lucky or?
So now if a light goes out and someone puts out a ticket and they can't repair it.
They put the new ones. That's,
They swap it.
that
and they
could be
just,
what happened.
You know, so.
Yeah.
Now, it was, several blocks of lights that did it.
By you on,
The north end of 10th Avenue, Miami Road, north end of Miami Road, yeah.
yeah, well,
And that's where that curve is, that might have been what our complaining.
about the lights and yeah, it's possible. Heather?
So I don't know if you would be able to answer this, but I mean, you kind of alluded to it. Many years ago down in South Miami. We had a bunch of poles that had lights, but they weren't, or, poles with no lights. So we were able to have lights put on and kind of directed towards our parking area as security. But us owners have to pay for it. So my question, I don't know, is if I were to call them and say, well, we want to switch this to the LED and have it on the street, would that remove my liability from holding it and we'd still get the streets lit up?
So if it lights the street, then the city would pay for it. If it's a directional lighting.
Well,
private
there was
property,
no light.
Yeah.
That's why us as neighbors
Got it.
stepped up to get
Right.
light because we had, particularly back at the time, crime was a much bigger issue than it is now.
Yeah.
But so we lit up as much as we could light up, but again, at
No,
our cost.
absolutely. So if you know those locations or those poll numbers, you could, like Marilyn said, you could send those, do you want them through you or?
Send them here because I'm keeping a list of all of them.
Okay,
So send them to me and I send them, when I get a bunch, I send them to Enrique.
and then,
Okay.
again, we'll verify, I'm sure those FPL will have no problem. putting the
Yeah, and
lights
I don't
the
mind
other
if it goes to the street instead of like, I'm sure that my
Well, what
tenants
they
would be all
do
the
is
happier
if a
with that.
customer pays for it, it usually faces into their property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's a street light, it's on the pole.
Well, in
they
order, it
move
was my
the-
only option.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
At the time, the only option
Yeah.
was for
Wow.
us to pay for it as a security.
That's terrible.
But
because
even
it's
when
safety issue.
even when you have residential areas and you might think that your residents might not want them that bright because you got them to put the shields on it.
I did.
And yeah, they will shield it.
Right.
Cause sometimes just the angle of it, even though it's more direct, sometimes the angle of whatever puts it where it'll go into people's bedrooms, so they will shield it
Yeah.
upon request.
Right.
They don't automatically shield it, cause again, you wanna light as much as possible, but where there are conflicts. And they do that, I will say relatively quickly for FPL, generally within 4 to 6 weeks of asking,
Mm-hmm.
generally.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
FPL, that's.
And I can tell you too, this,
They get the whole city done, when's it supposed to be done?
They're working through the entire state. I mean, so they're again, they're manufacturers where they get their supplies. And the city for our own streetlights, we've already upgraded all our streetlights. the LED, because we've seen that. And the only manufacturers we find are kind of aftermarket, third party, really cheap ones that don't last but a couple months. And
Mm.
so we made the investment and the switch just so we wouldn't have to keep.
Mhm.
Every couple.
Okay.
things.
So, Enrique, could you talk a little bit about the whole situation in Melrose Manors? Those people never had street, have you been reading about this on Nextdoor? They never had street lights, never, 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 okay? And some people didn't want them because they thought it was really,
Yeah.
they didn't want the lights. And a lot of people wanted the lights. And so eventually, after maybe 5 tries at the commission finally said, okay, we're gonna put in the lights. But the lights are costing a fortune. They're costing a fortune, and if I remember correctly, it's costing like 500. What's the number to put them in, and what's the number to maintain them?
So that's a public works project.
Yeah.
that They're managing the project with the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hesitant, I don't wanna misspeak, but I believe it's about $1 million to install and then a few $100,000 for the monthly maintenance bill.
So-
But I couldn't tell you why that's so much more than what our standard lights are. Maybe it's
They're
because
being
it's all
bricked off?
new poles and infrastructure. I don't know if they're going with decorative or not. I
No, it's
think-
decorative.
Talking about,
What?
how many poles are they talking about?
550?
Yeah, it's a big
Oh,
neighborhood.
You're a million, $1 million.
No, it's a big neighborhood, and they are very decorative. They're very beautiful lights. Okay, well, good on them.
I'm aware of the project.
I don't
but
begrudge them the lights.
Yeah, yeah.
Trust me, I do not begrudge them the lights. They need the lights. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
Lights. Is the city responsible, when the lights are out, is it the city responsibility to fix the light that's out, or is it FPL's responsibility?
So there's about 14,000 lights in the city. 11,000 belong to FPL. 1,000 belong to the city. And about 3,000 belong to FDOT. So maybe 15,000, but yeah, so, FPL has 14,000 lights, the city has 1,000, and, FDOT has, 3,000. That, so the city maintains all the ones that are city-owned, and we're under contract with FDOT, most of theirs. We don't do any of the ones on the bridges, but most of the other FDOT lights, think Federal Highway, 17th Street, those are FDOT lights that the city maintains under contract. So FDOT pays the city for the cost of maintaining them. So we repair those.
So if a light is out, who do you call?
So we try to make it simple for the residents and just call it, the 828-8000 number, which is our customer service line, or the app Fix It FTL. And there's a way to do it through the city website, to access, Fix It FTL. That's the city's app. That's the best way to do it, because then it tracks when, and so our staff will review it. If it's an FPL light, we will, open up a ticket with FPL, and it's kind of up to them to do it. And then we're supposed to put that ticket number in the Fix It FTL case and close it. We do ask that as much information that's given, especially if it's those FPL lights, it's a little easier for our lights. If you say, well, it's somewhere on 17th in front of the bank, it's easier for us to kind of do that, but FPL won't accept anything else. It's the specific.
Because it's hard to see them,
Yeah.
unless it's nighttime.
I have a
That's how you
charger.
know that they're out.
Yeah, so again, we try to. We try to do it, enter those tickets in for the residents, but we understand, but we just ask that it's as specific as possible. So it's on the east side of the bank, or this property or that property. So that allows us. Generally, inside the neighborhoods are FGL, and the main corridor streets are city FDOT generally, but. And this, all wooden poles are also FPL, so those are some tricks that, you know, you can have. So the city and FDOT don't have any wooden poles, currently.
Okay, any other questions for Enrique? All right, next time we see him, it's gonna be we're gonna be celebrating the installation of the playground. Yay. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, moving right along. We have another guest tonight, Annette Hatchard. Annette? Hatchard. She's the architect for the proposal of at 1545 Southeast 15th Street to build a 6-story, good night, to build a 6-story residential building. You want to come on up? There you go.
Can we hit this button with the United Squares so that it's off to the side?
Okay,
Yeah, that's better.
okay, and I'll move you over.
Move it over.
I'll move us over.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this is 1545. We're going for a planning and zoning meeting later this month. My name is Annette Hatchard. I'm the lead architect. Back here is Ricardo Maslara. He's my partner with the project. This is a rendering of the project that we're looking to do. You can go to the next slide. We'll begin it.
How about we do,
Is that?
hang on.
Or west of?
Cordova, 50th Street, right? So it's just north of 17th Street. I don't know where Cordova.
It's on 50. It's on
This is Cordova. Yes, it's
east of Cordova.
Yes.
Yeah. Which side of the street?
It's on the north side. Yeah.
Thank you.
There's another
It's
new
pretty.
building that was fairly recently put up, is it further down towards the fisheries?
Yes, that new building is here, and I would say 5 or 6 properties to the
Oh.
east is this building.
Is it taller than that other new building?
It's 5 stories, so I think if it's the same project, or it's a 5 stories. This is 5.
Yeah, my street.
So it looks like it has a site.
Yeah, that's where the sidewalks in the front. Okay, just in front of us.
Here you go, guys.
I thought it was a 5-story height, on that street,
It is, it's 5 stories.
but that's 6 stories?
No, this is 5 stories.
This is the site. You see, remember where that 1-story building was on 15th Street? That's the site.
What you do with the rest of the building?
It's gone now.
I like,
needed to be wiped away.
but they are, right, those buildings are remain.
Oh, the ones on either
This
side.
building here, that triplex, yeah, that building's, it's
Is that where the
gone.
building, that's where your building's gonna go?
Yes,
How about the
this
buildings
one.
alongside, like I see a big hunk of grass, point down a little lower, you see the lawn? No,
You're
Oh,
No,
renderings, if we place buildings here, you would see that much.
Okay, so you remove the building.
You remove the buildings in the render. The
Yes.
renders,
I complained,
they're for show.
I complained,
It sells back.
I
No, if we
complained
could
bitterly.
take The other ones would be
Mhm,
fine.
yeah.
No, these
No.
are fine. We show these in the back to show the context, but if we put a building here that was, you wouldn't see much. So in order
Oh,
to
I
keep
see.
that away, you now see the side of the building.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is it.
For a site plan level 3, the waterway use and modification of yards for the 5 unit residential building. This address is 1545 Southeast 15th Street. And then the project number is UDPS 24047. In the previous one that we presented, there was a 5 here. It was a typo. So we changed that back to an S, and it's properly shown on the presentation now. Our next meeting is November 19th at 6 p.m. at the Development Service Center, the one that they always have planning and zoning. So if there's anything that we don't answer here tonight, you can always come to that meeting and we can address those.
What meeting is it? Is that planning and zoning?
Planning and zoning, yeah.
Mhm.
Many parts of the floor,
When did you say?
It's
that?
5 apartments total.
so each floor is. an
Each floor
apartment.
is an apartment, yeah.
Okay,
What kind of parking spaces?
So
do they have?
If you go to
What's
the
the date of the
first,
meeting?
the 19th.
Marilyn, you went
Yes.
too fast. If
Too
you
fast?
look at- Yep. Here, nope, next one up. Maybe I don't show the ground floor.
Yeah, that's the
Yes,
ground
this is
floor
the
right
ground
there.
floor. So the ground floor is all uninhabitable space. We decided to do that because if you put any sort of habitable unit on the first floor, we then have to raise the site, which means you have to raise the grade level, which causes issues. We're keeping the grade more or less the same as what it is now. So there's no major change in the height of where the building sits.
Parking spaces are there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 parking spaces in total with the option of 4 of them to have lifts. So it'll be 13
I'm sorry, what's the word used?
lifts. Lifts, so you can park your car and there's a mechanical
Okay,
system that can
raises.
lift it, yeah.
Like the
I
first
only
building.
see 8 parking spaces.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's an accessible parking space here.
Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem for P and Z. They don't usually allow that's
Not
not
for
our,
the
that's up to them.
So far, it hasn't been an issue. We've
It's all
provided,
parking under the building on the first
it's
floor.
all underneath the building with the exception of the ADA parking space. So we designed the first floor to make sure that the cars could pull in and not have any sort of light pollution to the neighbors. And make sure that we have screening, that's all there.
So no
and-
cars would be sticking out onto the street?
No,
You don't-
no,
none of that.
absolutely no cars.
Even
The-
guest parking or
Yes, yeah.
where would
part of-
that be?
It's part of that same
First floor?
first floor.
So there's one parking spot per unit plus 3 guest spots, is that?
No, I think it's
You said 8.
13 parking spots in total, which means that there's 2 point something parking spots per unit.
Those 8 spots on the ground floor have lifts.
Only
Okay.
4 of
Two
them.
cars.
4 of them. So 4 of them have lifts. Okay.
So we've tried to provide adequate amount of parking there.
Mm-hmm.
The floor that was above this
Power goes on.
is its own special unit where if you can go up one more page. Here,
Right here.
yes. So this is all part of storage, mechanical generators, everything we're trying to put here on the second floor. No rooftop equipment. We don't need any of that ugly fencing for any of the rooftop units. We've eliminated all of that. We've plugged it into the second floor here area. It's ventilated, therefore, nobody's looking down at the rooftop. It's a one clean space, which we enjoy having in our buildings. And then this is its own unit here. That's one single unit. And then if you go to the next slide,
Here's a question. Yeah, I was just curious on the parking level. When you have lifts, how tall is that? That 14
it's
feet?
14 feet.
And the overall minimum, the overall height of the whole building, how much is that?
I think it's
53 something.
something like
So
that. Yeah,
5. I was gonna say 5 floors of apartments plus this?
yeah.
Yeah, but Ray, the lift pieces, they go into the second
The
floor.
lifts are here. If you see this.
The little
dashed
X'd out,
area,
Right.
they go into the
it's
second floor.
X that crosses out, so it gives the height for the second floor for those lifts to come
I
up. So
see.
we've sacrificed the condo air conditioned space to allow for the residents to have more parking.
The
Mhm.
Porsche building in
Right.
Bal Harbor.
We're
Mhm.
not quite that.
Yeah,
not
Right.
kind of
quite.
like that, where it goes up,
And
they
then-
go in the car, they go down.
Yeah.
On the second floor, there are no regular apartments?
There's
One.
One, it covers, from here over is we're gonna call it back of house, and then here over is your water.
We worked up one unit on the second floor.
Yes,
So now to get all the rest of the units in there, what's the third, the fourth, and the fifth?
it's its own unit, so they're larger units, they take up the whole floor
And how many,
plate.
how many, oh, is that?
One.
that's, yeah,
It's one family per floor,
So
yeah,
4 apartments.
5.
5.
4.5.
If you have
Yeah.
4 and 5, 1 unit plus 1 on the second floor, I have 4.
No, 4 units of one, it's 4 floor throughs and 1/2 floor on the, so it's 5 altogether. Down,
5.
right.
Yeah.
So it's really 6,
The floors start after the
Doesn't make
floodplain.
Second floor, they said they have 1 unit,
right?
and then 3, 4, 5, 1
It's actually
unit.
6 floors.
6 floor, it's 6 floors.
The ground,
Ground, it's only
yeah.
supposed to be 5 floors in that zoning
It's-
street.
It's 5 floors because of where the floodplain is. I believe it's 9.4, don't quote me, but I think it's 9.4 feet above the base floodplain. And we have our ground as 4.5, I believe it is. So by not raising that whole lot, that 5 feet in order to come up to the flood zone habitable area, we're able to call the first floor as ground, and then the second floor is where the height limitations come into play.
That's across the city now. Now that now that FEMA has changed the flood maps
Yeah.
and raised the flood plain of all the buildings, every zoning district that was 35 feet is really 35 plus whatever the new FEMA number is.
It's taller than
It's taller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in,
5 stories.
in
So
order
you need
not
to say
to,
that.
well, in order not to bring our building up to those additional 5 feet, we're actually making our building 5 feet shorter by keeping that ground floor as just the parking,
As the
entrance and the-
uninhabitable part.
Yes, yeah,
Now, can you show us the picture of the rendering of the actual completed building?
sure.
Yeah,
That's the
sure.
beginning. So can you count?
Marilyn, Fred Myers, I have a question.
Yeah, I'll be right with you, Fred. Hold on.
Here's your ground floor. Here's parking and entrance only. Here is the front,
That's the second
this is
floor
the
with the
second
half.
floor. So
One,
this is the
2,
half
3,
unit
4, 5.
Maintenance. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 units above that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4.5 units, which we're calling.
So that's
top
really
units.
5, it's 5 above the ground.
Yes.
Okay, Fred,
How many grounds it is?
we have a question. We have a question online. Fred, go ahead.
Yes, had I known this when they put up the boat storage facility across from Norwich, I would have fought the 5 stories that is there because from about December 1st through mid-January, we don't have sun over our pool.
Mm-hmm.
Will your building affect the sun across the waterway to the residents over there? Across the waterway because of the height of your building?
We've got a shadow study later on showing how it affects the waterway. And
Oh,
it's-
so you haven't done one yet?
I'm sorry?
You haven't done a shadow study
No,
yet?
we do. If we scroll down in this presentation, it's here.
I'll go
Okay.
to it. Hang
Yeah.
on.
It's probably page 10-ish. Keep going. Nope,
There's the building.
maybe 2 or 3 more here. So this is the
There's the
shadow
shadows.
study. The red outlined area is the property that we're using. And it doesn't affect the Cerro Gerardo River. On the winter portion of it, during the spring, on the winter portion, there is some shadowing along the river, but it's not anything that's drastic.
It doesn't go,
It's-
Fred, it doesn't go across the river to the other side.
Not like we get it from the boat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting it from both sides now.
I
Ah.
think there's 4, I've got that as well. I think one's 4 stories and the other one's 3.
Okay, so why don't you talk a little bit about, this is the ground floor,
If we
Plan.
can
Go back
scroll
up.
Oh, yeah, so this is your typical floor plan.
right?
So this is what the 1 unit that goes directly across the floor plate. We're trying not to have a high density area. We're changing the property from 3 families to 5 families. So we're not doing a huge boom in population here.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, now what are the types of not variances, what kinds of permissions are you asking
We're
for?
asking for the waterway use and the modification of yards. So this
Okay.
would be for the waterway use, which means that we are asking to use the rear property as a pool area. This is something that's shown along that street. It's very cohesive with the nature and the architecture of what's currently going on with the street. And we're not doing a large pool, we're not doing a large deck, we're doing something that can house maybe 4 chairs, have the pool, and then you can have the boats here. This is incorrect, it's not 3 docks, it's only 2. But we can have the boats here, we're redoing the seawall, so we have a fresh seawall there that's getting repaired. And then we have a pool area here, which is something that you can see on that street.
Okay, and the next?
If you keep going down. So this is just an example of along Southeast 15th, the same street, the same side of the river. These are buildings that have been
Everybody's got a
approved.
pool.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have an example, but this is Harbor's Edge. It's the same size as this one.
And that's how many is the same
It's the
height?
same height, yeah.
Same height.
Yeah, there's a building there that's, I think it's 5 or 6 lots down. It's the same height as that building, but it's squished down, so it's not quite
Narrower.
as, it's more narrow. Mhm, It's a
Mhm.
narrower lot.
Are you gonna be raising the seawall?
I don't know the answer to that. I
You
don't,
have to,
I-
you have to.
it's whatever it is. We have it
You
approved.
have to.
It's been approved by the city. They've gone through and
So
done
you'll
it.
be raising the seawall
You have to
5 feet,
raise it.
but you're not going to be raising the elevation of the lot at all?
Not the lot, no. That was part of the understanding of if we do habitable space on the first floor, everything has to come up to that 9 feet, which is, it's wild the amount of fill that we would have had to bring in a lot, and then how that affects the neighbors, we didn't want to do it. So we plugged everything on the first floor, that is now our access to the building. Which keeps the lot, I think the existing lot is 4.5 and we're doing 4.6 or 4.4. In elevation, we're keeping it more or less where it sits, because you can see some of these new buildings come and they get raised higher.
How are you retaining the drainage on your front?
I think we have drainage, they've done all of the drainage, the civil engineers done all of the drainage calculation, thanks for that.
As to, but do you have that here on the presentation?
No,
What you're
no, I
doing-
don't have
What
the
you're doing
full-
with
Just
stormwater?
curious, you're taking almost the entire lot as a building,
Uh-huh.
so where's all that water go?
The pavers are permeable, so there's some.
I mean, off the roof, off the roof.
Off the roof, it comes down to the first floor, that will then get distributed, I'm not sure, I haven't. Yeah, it's not like a big gutter system that goes straight onto the grass.
Cause I think by law, you have to retain it on your property. You can't go in the street, you can't
No.
go in the river.
No, we're not
So-
pumping anything, not doing any of that with the water, I know that they've got something, I believe the last edition we did, there's something running along here that they had for the drainage system that allowed us to keep it on the property. And the pavers where the flooring is all permeable pavers, that way at least the water that does fall on the property can stay as much as we can handle it, stays within the property.
Can I just ask you a question? I
Sure.
noticed on the top of that rendering, there's some structure that's higher than the height of the building. If you could scroll down a
This
little.
piece
Yeah,
here,
and it doesn't look like it's flush with it. What is that?
it's just a pop-up of the volume for the building. Yeah, it's the stairs, the elevator and that sort of thing. There's no rooftop access here. We're not doing any sort of residential rooftop areas, but you do need to have access. So you have the stair access up here. It
Okay.
allows for that one piece of volume to help kind of break up the box of the building.
How many elevators in this building?
One.
Okay, we gotta move on now. Could you talk a little bit about the rear, front and side yard,
If you go down,
which one? This one?
nope.
Nope,
that's the
waterway.
Still.
Here we go. Modification to
Yeah,
yards.
Simplification for the yard. So the zone that we're in is RMM 22. The code allows us to have a 10-foot side setback on each side, and then there's an exception written in there that asks us for half of the building height, for the side yards, which would end up being 27.5 feet. So on a 60-foot lot, 27.5 gives us about 6 foot of buildable area. It doesn't work that way, so we are requesting to have a modification of yards, and it's not unusual. It's also on the street. You can see a lot of the multi-level buildings that if you take the half of them, you lay them on the floor, they're not separated on the side yards that much. Front yard, I don't believe we're doing anything for the front yard. There's front yard setbacks stay as is. We're
No, that's
asking
not
for
true.
anything there.
That's not true. Your front yard is supposed to be 27. The 27 that you quoted is supposed to be all the way around. Side yards, front yards, rear yards. You're requesting a modification of the front yard from 27 down to 20, rear yard from 27 down to 20, and the side yards from 27 down to 10. 10 is the minimum you could possibly do.
The front yard is 25, yeah, it's 25 of front yard setback, and we're at the 25-foot yard, or 25-foot line.
Right, and then you have the balconies extending into them.
We're allowed to.
So the
do-
balconies extend
Yes.
into them. Okay,
Allowed to, I think it's 20% of the building facade is allowed to go over the setbacks. with the
Okay.
balconies. Yeah. The front, we kept at 25.
Yeah, but we can go with balconies, with of the building, the front. The sides and the rear is 20%.
okay, so you're going, even the 10-foot on the side yard, you're going what you're permitted to go into a side yard.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
Will there be a sidewalk?
On one side, there is a sidewalk that'll take you back, and there's a sidewalk in the front as well. We might have skipped the slide, but we can
Okay.
go back to it. this one was one a lot of people were asking about, this slide. So this is a 6-story building, this is a 6-story building, 6-story building, and then we've got 3 stories, 2 stories, so these project shadows, and you can see in some of these that their side yards are, if you take the height of that building, you half it and you put it on the floor, that's not wide enough. So it's something that the city does allow on buildings.
But those buildings have been there forever.
And if you
Things
do,
have
if you
changed.
just go on Google and you measure the side yards, I spent some time on this. The building across the street that you put in your application as, oh, well, this is a 6-story building and it's right across the street. If you go on Google and you measure their front side and rear yards, they're conforming.
There's a slide with pictures of, it might be the next slide here.
Okay,
Nope, keep going. It's the one after this one,
that's you.
here.
Yes.
So for example, if we look at these buildings, you look at the height of these 2 buildings.
Mm-hmm.
The distance between these 2 buildings, if we assume the property line goes directly in between them, they've got more or less a 10-foot setback. They don't have the height of this building halved and then put as a side yard.
I was speaking about the one directly across the street, which you
This-
mentioned. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This one, if you take the height of the building.
Right.
This line of trees back here is their property line.
Mhm.
Next to that is a separate property. That distance there is not half the height of that building.
Not the way I measured it, but go
It's-
ahead.
It's, if you follow that line there and you see here, I think it's something like 12 feet, that's not the same building, but
No.
it's, you can see the fence on this one. You can see that white picket fence that comes along here.
Mm-hmm.
Half the height of that building is this much. If you put that down on the floor, it doesn't conform. So they have granted, down this street, they've granted the yards. And if you even look at the one next to us, where their building sits versus where the property line is, which is where the.
Yeah, the 3-story does not have a required yard, but the 2-story next door has the required. The 3-story does, and the 2-story also.
Everything that's, as long as it's within that RMM 25 zone, the
Mhm.
exception B should be part of that system.
What do you mean exception B?
In the chart that you read, the zoning setbacks,
Yes,
it's that chart will tell you 10 feet is the side yard setback,
it's the minimum.
is the minimum. That's what we need to do. And then there's a little B on there. If you scroll down to the bottom of the chart,
Right.
if you read the B portion, it tells us it's half the height of the building.
I know that.
So that applies to any,
Right, but what I'm saying is the existing 3-story building next door to you,
yes,
okay? I mean, I was out there and I did a little, by the feet,
yeah.
okay? They don't have a conforming yard. They're 3 stories and the yard there is maybe 10 feet,
Yeah.
something like that. So they're non-conforming.
Yeah,
When you go to the other side, to the 2-story building,
yes.
they're perfectly conforming because they're only 2 stories. Okay?
It could be, it's a smaller building.
It's a smaller building,
Yeah.
so they're perfectly conforming. And when I went out to check the building across the street, directly across the street, I saw a much wider, much wider yard, but that's what I saw. So
We can look.
take
it up.
another look at that.
The slide we do for planning and zoning, I'll add a map for.
That would be
where
very
it
helpful,
looks
so
like.
you could see it.
Where do they have the setbacks? Fire access or why is?
It's not for fire access, it's basically to allow the city to have a uniform feeling along streets. So sometimes you have 0 lot lines and buildings are butt up next to each other. Other times they're 10 foot, sometimes they're further. They do it to allow air to go around the buildings, they do it for ventilation, they do it for all sorts of reasons.
Mhm.
It's good practice to have areas, to have landscaping, to have shade, to provide places for pedestrians to go, everything like that. For residential, it stops you from being too close to your neighbors. You don't want your bedroom window here and the person playing a rock band in the garage next door. So it's kind of like
Mhm.
it's a pleasant way of asking for boundaries.
Mhm. Okay. So we're gonna have to, it's getting late. Is there any other of these that you want to show us?
I think that was it. I'm open for questions.
Okay.
And anything that I can add in that'll clarify it, we can.
How much are you asking for these units? Do you know what they're gonna be going
I
for?
don't know.
You don't know? They never tell me. You know?
They probably have never had.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Well, the ones down the street were going for, I think Paul is asking 2 million for his.
He's asking 2 million for the one that he's trying to sell one.
I think he's gonna move into here. Anyway, moving along, thank you very much for coming tonight and for your presentation. Very nice, thank you.
We're in tough crowd.
You're not bad.
Okay, update on Live Local. This is important. Live Local. Okay, everybody? Yes, yeah, goodbye. Thank you very much. Okay. This is a map. This is my update on Live Local. This is the map that was part of the presentation for the Quay project when they went Live Local. And if you can see that dimension of 0.98 miles puts it within puts it within a mile of the highest of a high density district downtown. The district downtown is Victoria Briggs is coming in again. All righty, here we go.
That square where they're talking about building ignores the boat and the buildings along the, let's see now, south side of the canal.
Well, no, the site that they're building on is the whole site. The boatyard and everything. It's all one site. It's all one piece of property.
But they're not building.
They're not building.
No, they're not building on the boatyard. No, but that one piece of property is all one piece.
But if they're not.
And
building, how do they count?
they count it because it's one piece of property and it's within 1 mile of downtown.
But if they're not, but if they're.
Doesn't
not-
matter. It's one piece of property. Whatever you put here, here, doesn't matter. It's one piece of property. And it's within 1 mile of downtown and it just barely touches. Barely touches, okay?
That's, you know what?
Yeah.
No, when,
Yeah, well,
tell the city fathers.
I yelled
this is
about it.
Unintended consequences.
Well,
what
we-
you do.
absolutely. But here's the important part, guys.
Yes.
Here's the important part. If you take that line, whoops, let's get this smaller, and you swing an arc, everything on Federal Highway down to 17th Street is within that mile and eligible for Live Local. And everything on this side of 17th Street, including Winn-Dixie,
That's why they did it.
is eligible for for Live Local.
Yep.
So this is gonna have potentially a terrible impact on us because I can see this
This is a problem.
one right after the next going
Yeah,
down
we're
there.
gonna be living in Bald Ocean Mile.
So what they've actually done is they've taken the downtown zoning, the highest density zoning, which has no density, no height limits, et cetera, and they've extended it out 1 mile from downtown. And you know what,
Sewer-ish.
Live Local doesn't deal with it.
They don't care.
They don't care. And thank your state legislators.
I won't thank them. I
Yeah.
won't vote for
All
them.
right. So that's my update. And what I have done is we had a meeting with our commissioner. Several of us, we had a meeting. And I asked him if he would at least try and bring to the attention of the state legislators that we should not have Live Local, or we should at least make some adjustments to it. And I sent him an email with a couple of suggested, did you open it?
didn't have-
Yeah.
you didn't
I
have to
attached it. I attached it to the next
Yeah,
email.
so-
You got
I
it?
didn't-
Yeah.
I don't think I got
The second one?
second one.
All right. Are you at AOL or you still at
I do both.
both? All right. So it's in one or the other.
Well, maybe it went into my junk.
State legislature.
Our legislator, Chip Lamarca,
Pizzo, and you have, I forgot who the third one is. There's 3.
Osgood. She's further out.
No,
She has a piece.
Reyes,
The
it's
Quay, it's Lamarca.
same
Don't
thing.
count on Lamarca.
and none
He
of
loves
those-
Live Local.
He loves construction. He's
course he
a
does.
developer.
Yeah.
He is not, yeah, and he's already turned out, so
Yeah.
we need to talk about it.
So we're trying to bring this to the attention of the Broward delegation.
Curious though, is it the Live Local that allows you to do it within a mile of the highest density?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's our situation.
Delegation.
Now, can we get back to that lovely little presentation that we just saw? And it's a pretty building and there's lots of pretty trees around it which don't exist, okay?
And a side yard that doesn't exist.
And a side yard that doesn't exist. So when I went to planning and zoning and I was gonna testify, and this was gonna be my testimony. All right, let's get this bigger.
But Amy's going, right, for you?
Well, we're not going unless we all agree we're going,
Or,
okay? So we gotta discuss this, all right? So this was my first exhibit. And I was talking about the side yard.
No one can read.
No, you don't have to read that. You don't have to read that. What I was objecting to or bringing to the attention of planning and zoning, that the degree of diminishment of the side yards is extreme. The side yards for that tall a building, okay, are supposed to be 27 feet. Now, if they were gonna build a 2-story building, it'd be fine. It'd be, it'd be 10 feet, they'd be fine. But because they want to go up high, very high, 6 stories, they are really going from a 27-foot yard, which is required, down to a 10-foot yard. And they're just cramming that building onto too small a lot.
It is, it's very small.
It's a tiny lot. And here's the real problem, guys. Harbordale is full of small lots, 60-foot lots. And here's what they're building. They're building perfectly as of right townhomes, okay?
Which is what they did in Coconut Grove. It's the
Right?
same thing.
These are throughout Coconut Grove,
This is what they
Perfectly.
done in the gentrification.
50% Coconut Grove.
It's done
They
like this.
tear down the houses, they put those concrete
right.
bunkers.
Well, we don't particularly care for the style of them, but that's not the point. The point is he can make money on this lot. He can develop it like all the other people have been developing it, but he's greedy.
That's right.
And he wants to build this very, very big building with these very, very tiny yards, okay?
Very expensive.
And very expensive units, and God bless him, he should make $1 billion. That's not the point.
White car in front of it?
That's an existing building, the one with the white car front. The 2 stories.
He was bigger than that?
Well, he wants that lot with 6 stories,
Correct.
Yeah.
right?
And
And
a
what I'm
condo.
concerned about is if he gets this
That's
permission,
It's all good.
it's all gonna be like that. So the precedent setting,
It's like that also in Victoria. You go through.
They're doing that now.
Right on top of each other.
Yeah.
I don't mind this. I mean, this we could live with, okay?
High.
But 6 stories all up and down north of Miami Road and south of Miami Road. I think this one is south of Miami Road,
That's right across the street from the park.
right across the street from our little park. It's lovely, okay? If this one would have gone to 6 stories, they would have bought the house next door, which is on another 60-foot lot. There would have been another 6-story. So my concern is the precedent this sets when we allow these smaller lots to go to the limit, but no side yards. And I don't know what she's talking about. I went on Google Earth and I know how to do this. And I measured the side yards of all those tall buildings. They are all more than twice the height of they are all equal to twice the height of the buildings.
And I'm curious, the law, the
Mhm.
ordinance at the time that a lot of those were built might have been different as well.
Might have been, but they comply now.
They comply, yeah, but I think that you're comparing apples and oranges, at least she is, with older buildings
Yeah.
that were built 40 years ago
Right,
perhaps.
Right.
And trying to fit this into the square thing around.
Right,
there.
but I dispute her characterization that those taller buildings don't have conforming yards. I believe they do.
Probably when they were, you can probably look at the building.
You can look on Google Earth. It's got a measurement, it's got a measuring stick. You go and you measure and you say, well, this is a 6-story building, so let's say it's 60 feet. You measure the side yard and it's 40 feet. That building could have been 80 feet. Okay, 40 twice is 80. So those buildings have yards that are today conforming. And I think I don't know how she's fooling around with the numbers, but I don't think her numbers are correct. So I'm really
They still
concerned.
don't Care, they're just.
I know they don't care, and I have a
Feeling
feeling
a smoking mirror. That's what they're doing.
side yards on that building?
10 feet.
Cause it looks like there's a fence there, who's
Yeah.
right alongside the building.
Yeah.
I don't know, That's probably a 5. You're saying there's space on.
10 or 5.
the fence?
No, it's hard to see.
Yeah,
It's hard to see.
There's a little blue car, it's on the other side of that fence.
Landscaping, okay? It doesn't go all the way back. Some of this landscaping goes back. You can see it better on this side. This is the
Yeah, but it stops at the front of the building. No,
What do you mean?
doesn't that, those plants, when you go alongside the fence, doesn't that plant there stop at that white building?
Yeah, there's a sidewalk that goes down the side of
And you say there's 10 feet there?
There should be 10 feet. I'll go check it again.
Mine's
I'll go
five,
check it
so I
again.
don't know.
The one next to you is 5?
No, I'm fine.
Oh, you're 5. You got a single family home. That may make the difference.
And 22 feet elevation.
because Yeah. I
have 3 floors, I have to cut the building.
Well, that's exactly. And if you took this building and you wanted to go to 3 stories, you'd have to have a 5-foot additional setback on the side.
Well, there's actually you'd have to set the building in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a ziggurat. It goes up like a ziggurat. Yes.
Possibly them shrinking the size of the building like 5 foot on each side.
No, they can't build that building without, they cannot build that building without significantly reducing the side yards from 27 to 10. I mean, they just can't build it because it's just too big. It's just too big.
Is
The
that
other way to
a
look at it.
argument for planning and zoning, which is so pro-development?
I don't know. I don't know, but I think we have,
They just rubber stamp.
Yeah, they don't care.
Rubber stamp everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but I think it's worth, if you're willing to do it, Amy, I think it's worth going and,
Any pressure?
no.
You'll be good, Amy.
You'll be
really
good.
Good there.
Know about these numbers.
But
You-
you
you know what?
But you can read Maryland's.
That's who's
They
gonna
do
build
live
8
there.
beside me.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 of
They're
those.
building 8 of those by you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
'Cause
2.
I
There's
saw-
2 beside it.
I saw they
Uh,
did finish that one. I noticed on 4th, or what was that street that's near you that they built all of those?
12th
They're,
floor, yeah.
yeah, right there. They built-
That's 12th floor.
That's
Yeah.
Twelfth Street.
Well, they have
Yeah,
roof
I know.
Street.
Guys, they're on mine.
Another.
Right.
My property sits here and they're right here.
Yeah.
About check progress, you get it?
Anyway, guys, we
These guys.
Oh, wait.
we have to make a decision.
So,
Are we going to
Those things are going on.
make a object and make a stand, even though it's
Yeah.
probably not gonna, but I think it's worth it
Do
to
we
put
have
it on the
to-
record. I think it's
let's
worth
make
it.
a motion,
Put it on the record.
make a motion.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
check.
Okay,
And
1,
also
2,
get
3,
somebody other than
4,
you.
5, 6, 7, 8.
And who's on Zoom?
And on Zoom is Pam is 9
So we have 9 on
and
Zoom?
9 on Zoom, 9 offices on Zoom.
Okay, 9 on Zoom. So
Let me
that's
see, we got Pam.
7.
Oh, no, it's not offices, it's members.
Right,
Mem-
members.
We need 10
I knew
members.
what you meant.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We got
have it.
members.
We
We're
have the right
good.
amount of members.
We could
yeah,
take a motion.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to give a motion to go and,
He's gonna do it, yeah. Robert.
Robert made a motion to object to this on the basis.
I
the side-
second Fred Myers.
Fred Myers is a second. Thank you, Fred. Fred, would you like to go?
I won't, if I'm down there, I haven't made my full transition from Michigan yet.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? When I send the stuff to Amy, I'll send it also to you. How's that?
Thank you.
Don't wanna go and do this.
You
I don't
don't.
think I can represent it well. I'm not good with numbers. I'm not good with specifications.
It's really a side.
Can I make a,
I think that the biggest argument I see against this
yeah,
is the size of the units. If they're a 3-bedroom, maybe a den, there's gonna be more cars, more, where are they gonna park? I mean.
No, I agree. I think
It-
if you're short on parking, we haven't seen the storm drain.
Yeah.
storm
plans,
drainage, yeah. Mm-hmm.
so I think that there's a number of things to,
So we need, so
concerns on the.
Well, we could, Amy,
In
if I just put all the stuff together, okay? And you don't have to say anything. All you have to say is,
Can-
I'm presenting this for the Harbordale Civic Association.
all we're gonna
Did
do,
all that.
let's-
I cannot talk intelligently like
let's
you
close the
can.
motion.
Yeah, but I'm gone.
I
Let's
don't
call the
know
motion
this
real
stuff.
quick.
All right.
Vote.
All right, we'll take a
Call-
vote and then we'll talk
call
about
the
who's gonna do
vote.
it.
Discuss that.
Are we all, who's in favor of going to the meeting on November 19th and making an objection to this?
That's the motion.
That's the motion, okay? Mhm. Anybody online? Fred?
So who's making that motion? 'Cause we
Fred, that
gotta-
motion was made. That's Robert's motion.
Okay, okay.
And Fred seconded.
Got it. I just want to make sure. it seems
And I
like-
agree.
And Fred agrees online.
Okay, so it's a unanimous, right? Unanimous?
Yes. Yeah,
Unanimous, guys.
yes. All right. So we'll,
It's a sacrificial.
wait a minute, Robert. Robert, you're an attorney. Come on. Oh, so am I.
Hey, I'm gonna have to watch this because
Oh,
yeah, I'm assuming.
you're gonna go, but you're gonna watch.
Guys,
The motion passed.
all right, the motion passed and we're gonna have to rope in a volunteer.
I'm not, if I was here, but I have an election. What time is it? What
Uh-huh.
time is it?
It's November 19th.
What time?
Oh, it's in the evening.
That's where I have an election.
Yeah, all right.
I'm in
All right.
Tallahassee and then
We'll talk about how it may be that we simply send in a written testimony.
somebody needs to go.
It may be that we simply send in written testimony.
Other people here who could volunteer.
We'll work it out. We have time to work it out. Okay. So that was what I wanted to talk about that. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was Southeast 10th Avenue Committee. Scott, you want to talk a little bit about what's going on for Southeast 10th Avenue?
With the Parks.
With the Parks Department.
Meeting, next week to review the, landscaping report. That we're getting from this Parks and Recs Department to keep Avenue median plants.
We're talking about on the south side.
We're talking about along the cemetery.
Oh, the cemetery.
My name is being thrown out there. Something about sidewalk issues.
It's a trip fall
Yeah,
situation.
that's the trip fall thing there.
City's gonna get so jealous. Yeah, no, on the sidewalk, huge, those tree limbs need to be cut. They're, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
problem at night.
The other thing is that keep the sprinkler going. I don't know, not at the time.
So all those things are gonna be on the table. And we're very appreciative of Scott and Bob Dugan will be there too. And anybody else who wants to participate.
Well, one of the things, Marilyn.
Yeah.
Is true, is some of the original plantings have died, or the plants were never compatible, the soil wasn't right.
The soil was bad.
Are we pushing to have the city fix that?
Well, let's
Bring it up.
yeah, certainly bring it up and let's see if we can get a dollar figure. You know, we could go to our commissioner and say, hey, you got to kick in, $2,000-3,000 to refurbish it. Don't forget the mayor planted one of those trees, so we got a hook
Still
there. All right.
$1 million that went to the Rio Vista Park.
That's right. I heard you bring that up. Okay. All right.
You know, one
Yes,
thing,
Fred.
Marilyn,
Fred.
Ben Sorensen will be at that walk going down Southeast 15th Street on November
12.
and you're 12th, and you're gonna walk right by that property with our commissioner. Someone could well bring it up and say, this is what we want to present.
That's good. That's very good. Thank you very much for that, Fred.
You're gonna have a
When you go down
one-on-one
on that
audience.
walk, whoever's going.
But I
to
need
walk-
help too.
I hope so. Yeah, I think he said he was going to be. Yeah. All right. So that's.
He is.
Yes, he is. Good. So, let's go to the next thing on the agenda, and that's the election of officers and board. I want to say very thank you much to all of the members who are on the board now, who volunteered for another year of thankless jobs with no pay, but great heartfelt and camaraderie. So those are nobody else volunteered. All the people who currently on the board volunteered again. And so we actually don't have to have an election because they're all filled. You're my election monitor.
Equal number of vacancies as the candidates.
Right. But I think
Which rules would say,
as,
elected by acclamation.
thank you very much. Thank you, everybody who volunteered. Yes. Wait a minute, there's another thing. We have,
Don't forget your approval of minutes. You have to do that too.
no,
Approval
we
of
haven't. We
minutes.
never do. You want to do that?
You should do it.
Okay. I would like,
Approval of all the minutes all year.
actually, I would like to have someone make a motion to approve all of the video minutes, which are actually the videos
Yes.
of the meetings.
That's what the
Could
minutes.
somebody please make that motion?
As the secretary, I'll make a motion to approve all of our video transcribed or Zoom meetings for the year.
Second. Second. Everybody in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Fred.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Pamela. Appreciate it. Okay, we should have a discussion, and I know it's late and we don't have a big room here, but we should have a little discussion of the Southeast 15th Street pedestrian way, okay? So the next meeting is the next public meeting is going to be on November 12th. It's going to be on the street, right? Fred?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
6 o'clock. It was in the Harbordale News. All the information is there.
We got notices on this.
And you got postcards. Did you get a postcard, Fred?
Not yet.
Okay, well, everybody should have gotten postcards. Anyway, so I have convinced Milos to put a white line down the street indicating where the pedestrian way is actually going to be and how big it's going to be, so that people can actually see it with their own eyes, what it's going to look like, instead of just, oh, 4 feet. Well, what does 4 feet look like? So I'm hoping that he gets this done before the walk and we actually see that line, so people will be aware of exactly how it impacts the parking and whose parking spaces are going to be impacted, and whether or not 4 feet is really going to make a difference in terms of safety. And and going down to 3 feet in some place, and in one place it goes across the street and then comes back across the street. So I don't know that, I think it will help people visualize, and it might encourage some people and it might discourage some people. We have remained scrupulously neutral up to this point because all of 15th Street, all of the residents of 15th Street have yet to voice their opinions, okay? There is a survey. They've sent out the survey, okay? And I don't know what the results of the survey are, whether it's pro pedestrian way or not pro pedestrian way. But I think when people actually see it, then they'll have a better understanding of, oh, geez, yes or no. But we really have to wait. And I'm saying this for you, Fred. We really have to wait until the public participation portion is over. They've produced the report so we can actually see what we're talking about in black and white. And then we'll call a meeting of the Civic Association and invite all the people on 15th Street. And at some point we're going to have to take a position. All right.
Why do we have to take a position?
Well, you got a very good point there.
You know what? I'm one of the properties that's gonna be affected. I'm the only one in this room. You
No,
all
Fred
get to
is.
vote
He's
and
online.
decide what happens with my property, and if I have to modify it and pay for it myself, you're all gonna decide that for me. I find that a problem.
Yeah.
I appreciate the support of the Civic Association and the strength of it. I understand that part. But in the final end, we're gonna be left hanging with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, there have been times when we have not taken a position.
Yeah.
And we've said, there's pros and cons, yada, 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 and we'll see how it goes.
The other thing is they need to do that drainage survey that they talked about at the last meeting, because that's a huge issue.
Right.
When we had that flood 2 years ago,
Mhm.
I was up to my knees on 15th Street.
Mm.
And if whatever this sidewalk is gonna do to the drainage, which isn't that great.
Yeah,
Um,
especially if they take off some of the grass.
I don't know.
It's going to be less. So, I am not going.
Hey, one other thing I want to say,
Fred.
I've talked to market analysis and appraisers, and the value of our buildings and condos will decrease significantly. And that's a taking. So I almost think the residents, if we would want to, would have a lawsuit as an attorney in Michigan, but we would have a lawsuit to maybe stop or prevent this, because it is a taking of our money without due process.
Mm-hmm. I brought that up continuously during these discussions of what is the impact on the property values. And they have never,
Significant.
it's significant. In my opinion, it's significant because I wouldn't buy a condo that didn't have 2 parking spaces in it.
How is this gonna change the parking? We have places in Harbordale where there's a sidewalk in front of a condominium or a townhouse and people just park on it. And then there's places where there's an easement and people just park on it.
And they do
They
it
park
the
on it
opposite.
either way. It's not a problem. If they put a pathway down 15th Street, if you have to park on it, it's no different than it is today. You park on it.
We talked about this at the meeting when they were
Yeah,
here. We
yeah.
told them
It's
enforcement,
here.
and they said,
Well, we wouldn't.
we wouldn't
Yeah.
They
enforce.
don't do it anywhere else in Harvard.
And they,
Do it
and then the
anywhere
guy
else,
said,
they-
But
They
then,
don't do it
and
anywhere.
then they said, why do it if there's no?
well, this,
And then they start giving out tickets one day.
guys, you saw the photograph of that little boy walking down 15th Street that I sent you all in the Harbordale News. There's this poor little boy who's walking down the street and there's a car zooming here and the other cars are, and he's got maybe 6 inches, between, it's a problem. It is
No
definitely a
question it's a
problem.
problem.
The question is this a solution? Or, and given how much this, I'm not gonna say pro or con, but given how much this is gonna cost and the disruption that it is gonna cause, is this the solution? I don't know.
Draw a few body outlines in the street,
So-
doing the lines.
Yeah.
Take-
You know, like they do on the crime shows, just put a few bodies on the street near the line. They'll get the picture. I'm telling
Take
you.
pictures of you guys walking.
Guys, I think we're going to be talking about this well into the new year. Okay, and again, Fred, I think and Amy, as an organization, we have to keep an open mind and we have to listen to both sides. But eventually, either we take no position or we take a position one way or the other. That will be up to the membership of the Civic
But
Association.
we're
So,
not meeting again. This is it.
no, this is not gonna happen until the
Okay.
next year.
But you gotta follow up.
Next week, then they have to
Have to
do some
more
more
study.
And we have the holidays, I mean,
And to
they
your
have their
point,
budget, they don't have any
Amy,
money in their.
Yeah.
And to your point, Amy, they did talk about, I had a big thing here about drainage improvement, elevation. They were supposed to do all that.
They
That's what
haven't
they're
done that
supposed to
yet.
do.
They hadn't
So-
done that.
And they said something about, and I may have spelled this wrong, catchment areas.
Catchment
Yeah.
areas. The
So they
drainage.
have to, those are the three things they said they were.
Right,
And they
right.
hadn't done that.
Right. So they got a lot of work to do. All right. And we will be talking about this well into next year. So the only other thing I have on the agenda is sandwiches for the community court. We couldn't do it in November. We just couldn't get a date. We tried a couple of dates in December, but between parties and they couldn't do it. So I told her we'd be looking for some date in January. And we'll,
Should give it to us like earlier than.
yeah, right.
We
We
need it like-
we need to
Officers
plan
are
ahead.
busy. We need like at least 3 weeks.
Maybe February.
Yeah, they
She'll
need
give
to
us a
just
few
give
days.
us a date, at least
Okay.
3 weeks in advance.
All right, so let's have a walk-on item. We have a walk-on item. And that has to do with Ray and Heather. They went to the South Rack presentation on Andrews Avenue, which affects largely Ponciana Park. But you guys had some comments on what they're doing and how it might relate to Harbordale. You guys want to get up and speak a
What
little?
is RAC? Can you just tell
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ray?
It's the South Regional Activity Center.
Oh, Oh,
There's a few of them in the city. As far as Poinciana Park, we've been trying to encourage development in that area for years.
Where's Poinciana? Is that the one north of,
It's just west of us,
Yeah,
of Harvardale.
like
Starts
by
at Federal
Dave,
Highway and goes to the tracks
Davy, like you go down.
and goes
Yeah.
from Davie on the north side
Yeah.
to the city limits on the south.
okay, thank you.
So we've been trying to encourage development for years. And almost the entire neighborhood is in this, no, almost the entire neighborhood is in the South Rack. And in the South Rack, that's like a zoning overlay. And it has like guidelines to do things, what they would like to see there. But there were some issues in the South Rack that weren't, that should be improved. The city staff said that, like some of the lots are, I'm saying one block, there could be 3 zones on one block. So they said, let's see if we can clean that up maybe and put all one zone. So Heather was there, I was there. And this stuff is not cheap. It was $100,000 that the commission supported to hire a consultant to have a charrette. And then it'll be an additional probably 400,000 if this goes and actually gets approved by the city commission. And the goal is to basically increase density in Poinciana Park. So some people are for that, some are against. So but most of everybody wants some sort of change, but they want to keep the quality there. Now, on the south Miami, south of 17th Street to the 84, in Harbordale, that area hasn't changed I've been there 30 years. And so the thought was, Heather and I were thinking, maybe Peggy, get involved with Poinciana Park and do it all, but the city staff says no, they don't think that'll be possible, because Poinciana Park is further along. But what I think we need is some kind of vision. I know the association years ago came up with a master plan for Harbordale. But that south of 17th to 84 really is quite different than the north side. And I think, like I live there, Heather lived there, we want to see some sort of change, because it just hasn't gone anywhere. And so what Poinciana Park did, we lobbied our commissioner, Warren Sturman at the time, and he encouraged the commission to put 100,000 into this. And so that's the start of it. So I think that's what we're trying to do here, right? In other words, maybe we ask the association to lobby our commissioner to maybe do some sort of charrette for south of Miami, south of 17th Street on Miami Road, to encourage development or a change, is what I'm saying. Heather?
What kind of development are you?
Yeah, what kind of?
Well, that's just it. It's not, I don't. Ray might have an opinion and I might have an opinion, but that's not really the point. The point is that the neighborhood come up with some sort of a plan. Because right now there's no way forward, because we have, not only do we have multiple zones on a same block, but we have an underlying zoning by the county that conflicts. So the county has just, now again, we're talking about just South Harbordale. This isn't North Harbordale. But the county has for South Harbordale, an employment center. So if you have a property and you want to do a new development, then you need to tick all of the boxes. So you need to be zoned for employment center, as well as whatever that particular property is. It could be B1, it could be RMM 25, it could be, it could be a mixed use, it could be single family home, whatever it is. But those are two different conflicting things, zones. So what we've had over the past, at least until as back as 2006 that I can think of, is a developer comes in and they have a plan and they knock the property down and then they can't move forward. They can't do it. I mean, I guess this Basque, which is now 10X, was able to do their thing because they've got like a gym and like office spaces underneath.
Mixed use. They did mixed use.
That's how they were with it.
Yeah, the townhouses that were supposed to go across the street from me have like two offices connected to them, but in fact, nothing has happened on them. So this is, the money. Because it's so constrictive and conflicting, no one can actually do anything. So what I would like to see is just we clean it up, right? So maybe it's as simple as we get the employment center removed, or maybe it's kind of like we get blocks zoned the same.
Just the same, right?
But just.
The other issue with south of Miami there, south of 17th, there's no flex units available.
We got, no, we got flex units. I was on planning and zoning. I made the motion and we got another 500 units of flex units. And those townhouses, the second set of townhouses use the flex units. We got flex units
500
in the city. And they're only supposed to go for projects of 50 units or less. So all those little townhouse projects, there are units if they want them. Yeah. So I think the thing that we have to think about in our own minds now, we have seen a spurt of development there. It's the townhouses and it's that 6-story building. They haven't yet, but they're going to start. They're going to start. I saw them on the construction site. And those little townhouses they're not bad. I mean, if that's the vision, then we could just make it easier for the guys to do it. So
That's my question. Interested in just making that a residential area, or do you want to continue this
Well,
mixed
this
use?
is what this is what this would be about, is getting the community getting a vision plan together for South Harbordale. Again, we're talking about South Harbordale is 9 blocks by 1 block.
Right.
It's a funky little area.
Yeah. Heather, can I ask you, was that the meeting where that lawyer came? I'm trying to remember, Hope, I think was her name.
Oh, she did the
Yeah, he was the
townhouses.
one, and that's the one that we had a problem with the garbages
Yeah.
and
One issue.
I often wondered what happened with that. We never heard back. Zero. Okay.
Well,
I
they did, no, they did knock down those buildings.
They demoed the old buildings.
Okay,
Right.
that's
Like,
it.
the 8
So-
months.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible for the
You know,
community.
So that's what they're waiting for us to
Yeah,
forget.
right.
That's what they do. They
You know, the
wait,
piecemeal stuff, the way it's going on for
Yeah,
the last 30
like my
years,
landscaping.
is not healthy for the neighborhood.
No.
No.
So if we, I think, if we had some sort of master plan
Mhm.
that the commission, approved for that area. So we.
Form a ad hoc, yeah.
How about we do this? How about I invite Chris Cooper and Anthony Ferrata to one of our meetings? And we have to our meeting here.
Yeah.
And we have them explain what the zoning is, okay? So we're all on the same page. Because I think now with the mixed use zoning that they've done all over the city, they play the mixed use trick. They throw an office in and bingo, it's up.
Mhm.
So they've all learned how to do that, okay?
Workarounds.
But we should have them come here, tell them, you tell us what it is, we'll tell you what we see as the problems, okay? And then let's talk to them about what they recommend. Okay, so how about I set that up for our very first meeting next year?
I think that's. a
How we
great
do that.
idea.
All right?
And you know what
Sounds
else,
good.
Marilyn, on
Yeah.
top of that, I
Yeah.
believe there's enough talent in this room, from what I'm learning from you guys, that we should form our own ad hoc committee and try to go and get this in writing and form our own little plan and our vision before they come, and then present it to them, or, so we're already being proactive. That's what I.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you in terms of we got to put down what we want.
Right,
But we need to know from them what the true skinny is, okay?
okay.
They need to know that, hey, this should be on your radar because we're concerned about this, so they start thinking about it. And then what we tell them after we have this, let's have a special meeting with our little committee and we put it in writing so that, everybody's on the same page. Now, I have concerns about South Miami Road because there's a lot of renters down there. A lot of renters, okay? And I don't know that we're gonna be able to get that representation into it. And there's Spanish, we have to worry about the Spanish, but we don't have to worry, we have Spanish speakers. So we're good,
Bilingual.
we're golden.
But I agree with you, Marilyn, and but I believe, this is me just because I've done lots of ad hoc committees and stuff. And I feel strongly that if we at least go, and I'm guilty myself, okay? And we walk some of the neighborhood walk, like we did with the bypass road and all that, you guys, what I learned you guys did, I came way late. I think we should form that same type of proactive, let's look at all of this. I think we should have done it for that, you guys and all that too. But let's do that and do it not just for South, even though that's our focus, but for looking
Well-
at the big picture too, but that's our main focus.
Yeah, and it's a good educational, this would be a good educational thing because
Right.
it's a small area.
I agree.
And if we get our act together on a small area and
They
it
leave us
works.
out. They leave
It
us
evens
out
out.
in every,
Yeah,
Harbordale is never mentioned. You
okay,
hear everyone else but us.
Okay.
all right,
you.
We're making
good.
the money.
We're gonna do the first, if not the first, the second meeting of the year, because I want to invite Rochelle Williams to the first meeting, because we've gone a year now, she's gone a year now, it's time that she comes and talks to us.
Big, affordable housing.
Yeah.
And that area
It's ideal.
is
That-
ideal for that.
Right.
Well,
But it'll
that,
be higher
True,
density,
True.
but it's really affordable. It should be affordable.
yeah,
Is she the new city,
City
whatever?
manager.
Because she also, I was at a meeting that she was at and she talked about how live local, and she had to deal with that in Miami
Mm.
and this affordable housing, so she's very familiar with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
What I couldn't figure out was she for it or against it?
No.
she's for live
That's
local.
why we need to really
She's for.
tell her we don't, that's
Oh.
what I,
Affordable housing.
that's what I thought, I couldn't figure out whether she liked live local though. So we.
Well,
need to-
that, it's not,
It's a cover.
it's a cover, it's a cover. There's a whole thing that's going on. Anyway, it's 8:47, yes, certainly. And then we wrap it up. Yeah.
It's going to impact the ingress and egress by boatyard that comes around the back of Renaissance,
Mm-hmm,
which brings up the whole Kane proposal.
yeah.
And I want to know if, where we are with that. I know Warren was on the MPO when he was commissioner.
And now Ben is on the
So
MPO.
I would like to get Ben here at some point, because I don't think he's spoken to us since he's been elected.
Actually, we had a luncheon with him and he apologized, coffee. And he apologized. He hadn't been able to come to out of our meetings.
Discuss, but now that the convention center is open,
Mhm.
now that the hotel is gonna, we are dealing with issues with the non-public road, according to Robert Lockery, that Eisenhower
Non-public road.
Boulevard is, which is now really gonna be non-public, because they're not gonna let ingress and egress anymore. We have Uber drivers parked behind the Renaissance now.
Yeah.
And they're gonna continue. We saw, because of boat show, enormous buses
Buses,
trying
big
to make
buses.
that turn.
Wow.
And then not being able to make the turn and
So
figuring
they
out
didn't
how to get
notice.
around the median and not being able to get around the median. This, I see it as a major issue, and nobody's gonna be able to go through the boatyard property.
Mm.
Think of the construction.
We need to
team,
do
the
field
place
trips.
down.
That's a very interesting, yeah, okay, yeah, we should be doing that. We definitely should be doing that.
Field trips acknowledgeable.
Yeah, well, Ben's gotta come,
And Ben's issue too, I'll remind you, you probably remember this, when they wanted to put up on the south side of the New River in Rio Vista, that
Mhm.
high rise.
Yes.
That was commissioner, and he shot it down.
Because he
Now
lived
he's
there.
Going to have the construction
Mm,
all along the western perimeter of Rio Vista. And all that traffic,
mhm.
and as the commissioner, he needs to be involved in this now, he can no longer. Not look at the issue that's going on right in his backyard.
Yeah.
Literally in his backyard.
Yeah. Well, I did post on my Facebook page a video of the intersection of Eisenhower and Eisenhower and Federal, okay? During the boat show, there was nobody there. There was no congestion at that
It was
intersection.
great, we watched, and the bypass.
No congestion. The bypass road is spectacularly successful. I'm sure there is. Who wants the hard hat? I got that at the bypass road opening. I can keep it. Keep it, you know. I'll keep
You're
it.
so involved in all
Yeah.
that.
No, actually, Heather should take it because she was on it before I was on it on the bypass road. So I give you the honorary hat. Okay,
Facebook is this?
you're welcome.
Facebook is.
My Facebook page.
Oh, I no wonder.
Now, it's become a real issue.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be that and the other side, the one by 84 and Federal. Remember, oh no, it was Dana. We had a big meeting with
The cars trying to be able to come out of Miami Road.
right, they're never gonna go back into Miami Road. That is gonna be permanent. You know how you used to come down
Yes.
Federal Highway and used to be able to go on 84
cut around
and then
the-
scoot in? They're never opening that up again.
Stand the whole bypass road, now you have to get on 84 and.
They said
so
they would.
in front of the,
Go take a drive.
I did, I driven.
That's,
What's wrong?
let's do field trips.
Bypass road is done.
We got
It's done.
Done.
Thank
and field trips.
We don't have another 20 years of life in us to do another bypass road. That's it. Okay, meeting's over, everybody. Thank you
9
all.
o'clock. Oh,
Thank you, everyone online. Good night.
8:51. Put 9. Oh, and the party's the 3rd, Mary?
Yes, the party is the 3rd at
Third.
Southport. We're going to
I
Southport
just
again.
added you so you can,
Okay.
I kept looking for Marilyn. and
Yeah.
Give me.
Thank you, Marilyn. And the
Thank
game.
you.
Read it. Oh, sorry.
No, that's it.
She's got it all.
Stop recording. Pause recording.